What kind of nation carved homes into solid mountains? What power made them feel untouchable by Allah Himself? And how did their final hope become their final warning? This is the story of Hazrat Saleh alayhi salam, a prophet sent to the mighty nation of Thamud, a people gifted with skill, wealth, and stability, yet destroyed when miracles failed to soften their hearts. Thamud lived in rocky valleys of northern Arabia. They carved places directly into massive mountains. Their cities were strong and protected by stone. They believed no disaster could ever reach them. Allah sent Saleh alayhi salam from among Thamud. He called them to worship Allah alone. He warned them against pride and injustice, but they demanded a sign to prove his truth. By Allah's command, a she-camel emerged from rock. It was a clear miracle before their eyes. Saleh alayhi salam warned them not to harm the camel. Some believed, but most hearts remained hard. The leaders of Thamud plotted in secret. They killed the scared camel in open rebellion. Saleh alayhi salam warned them of punishment after 3 days. They mocked him and continued their arrogance. The earth shook beneath their carved homes. A mighty blast struck them at dawn. Their stone places could not save them. Thamud lay lifeless, frozen in their positions. Only Saleh alayhi salam and the believers were saved. Miracles do not guide hearts without humility. Arrogance can destroy even the strongest nations. Allah's mercy comes before His punishment. The story of Saleh alayhi salam is a warning for today. What kind of faith agrees to sacrifice what the heart loves most? What devotion places Allah above blood, tears, and desire? And how did one sacrifice illuminate faith for all time? This is the story of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, the father of prophets and the symbol of pure submission. A man whose faith was tested beyond human limits, a sacrifice that still echoes every Eid al-Adha. Ibrahim alayhi salam grew among idol worshippers in Babylon. He rejected false gods with wisdom and courage. He shattered idols but spared the largest one. Truth angered the tyrant king and his people. Ibrahim alayhi salam was thrown into a blazing fire. The flames roared higher than human imagination. Allah commanded the fire to become cool and safe. Faith emerged untouched from the heart of danger. Years later, Ibrahim alayhi salam was granted a beloved son. The child was the answer to long years of prayer. Then came a dream, repeated and undeniable. Allah commanded the ultimate sacrifice of His son. father and son walked together in silent obedience. No hesitation stood between command and action. Both surrendered fully to Allah's will. Father reached its highest point on barren lands. The knife was placed with trembling hands. He was ready to fulfill Allah's command completely. Allah called out, stopping the sacrifice. A ram was sent from the heavens as mercy. This obedience became eternal worship. Truth faith demands trust beyond understanding. Sacrifice purifies hearts and strengthens belief. Allah never desires blood but sincere submission. The legacy of Ibrahim salam lives in every sacrifice. What happens when sin is practiced openly without shame? What fate waits a nation that mocks divine warnings? And who was the prophet sent to stop a moral collapse? This is the story of Hazrat Lut salam, a prophet sent to the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah. A man who stood alone against widespread corruption, a final warning before a devastating punishment. The people of Lut lived prosperous and secure lives. Their cities were active centers of trade and travel, but immorality spread openly through their society. They normalized sin and rejected natural moral limits. Allah sent Lut salam to guide his people. He warned them with patience and clear words. He called them back to purity and obedience, but they laughed and threatened to exile him. One night, angels came disguised as guests. Lut salam feared for their safety. The people rushed toward his home with evil intent. Their hearts had become blind to guidance. The angels revealed their true identity. Lut salam was ordered to leave before dawn. He was told not to look back. His wife chose disbelief and stayed behind. The earth shook violently beneath the cities. A powerful blast descended from the sky. The towns were turned completely upside down. Stones of baked clay rained with precision. The punishment erased the sinful nation forever. Sin destroys societies from within. Ignoring divine guidance leads to ruin. Allah's mercy always comes with warnings. The story of Lut salam remains a timeless reminder. What kind of son accepts death without fear? What kind of faith silences the trembling of the heart? And how did one young boy pass the greatest test of obedience? This is the story of Hazrat Ismail salam, the son of Hazrat Ibrahim salam and Hazrat Hajra radhiyallahu ta'ala anha. A child raised in a barren desert by divine command. A life shaped by patience, trust, and submission. Ibrahim alayhi salam left Hajra and infant Ismail in Mecca. The valley was empty and without water. Hajra ran between Safa and Marwa in desperation. Allah caused Zamzam to spring beneath Ismail's feet. Ismail grew into a strong and obedient young man. He learned patience from the desert's harsh silence. Father and son rebuilt the Kaaba together. They prayed for acceptance with humble hearts. Then came the dream that changed everything. Ibrahim saw himself sacrificing his beloved son. He shared the vision with honesty and sorrow. Ismail responded with unwavering submission. They walked toward Mina in quiet obedience. No argument stood between them and Allah's command. Ismail asked to be laid gently on his side. The test was not to flesh, but of faith. The knife was placed with complete surrender. He was ready to fulfill Allah's command fully. Allah called out, declaring the test complete. A ram was sent as a ransom from heaven. This moment became eternal remembrance for believers. True faith means trusting Allah beyond fear. Obedience shines brightest in moments of trial. Allah replaces sacrifice with greater mercy. The legacy of Ismail lives in every Eid al-Adha. How does Allah fulfill a promise when hope seems impossible? How can a barren home become the cradle of prophecy? And how did one child become a sign of divine blessing? This is the story of Hazrat Ishaq alayhi salam, the son of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam and Hazrat Sarah radhiyallahu ta'ala anha, a child given in old age as a miracle, a living proof of Allah's promise and mercy. Ibrahim alayhi salam and Sarah had grown old without a child. Years passed with patience and silent prayers. Then angels visited with extraordinary news. They announced the birth of Ishaq and after
Fear
him
not, for you have
Yaqub.
found favor.
I am the servant of the Lord.
Sarah was astonished at the promise. Age had taken its toll upon her body. Yet Allah's command overcomes all limits. The promise was not bound by human weakness. Ishaq was born as a sign of divine mercy. His life carried the legacy of prophecy. Allah described him as righteous and blessed. Through him continued a line of noble messengers. Ishaq alayhi salam grew in faith and wisdom. He called his people toward worship of one God. He upheld the covenant made with his father. His life reflected patience, trust, and gratitude. The promise of Allah stood fulfilled before all. From the spy came lineage and lasting guidance. Through Ishaq came Yaqub and future prophets. Divine blessing flowed across generations. Allah's word proved true beyond time. Allah fulfills promises in unexpected ways. Patience opens doors unseen by human eyes. Divine timing is perfect and precise. The story of Ishaq teaches trust in Allah's decree. What kind of father waits years for his lost son yet never loses hope in Allah? What kind of patience survives betrayal, distance, and endless tears? This is the powerful journey of Hazrat Yaqub alayhi salam, the prophet of patience and unwavering faith. Hazrat Yaqub alayhi salam was the noble son of Hazrat Ishaq alayhi salam and the grandson of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam. Allah honored him with prophethood and blessed with him many sons. But among them was one son whose story would change his life forever. That son was Hazrat Yusuf alayhi salam, a child known for his beauty and pure heart. One night Yusuf shared a dream that would shape the future of an entire family. He saw 11 stars, the sun and the moon bowing before him. The brothers of Yusuf felt jealousy growing in their hearts. One day they took Yusuf far into the desert and threw him into a deep well. They returned home with false tears and a shirt stained with fake blood. Yaqub felt the pain but chose patience and placed his trust in Allah. Years passed and his sorrow became so deep that his eyesight faded. Yet he never lost hope in the mercy of Allah. Meanwhile, Yusuf was rising towards destiny in the land of Egypt. A famine struck the land, forcing Yaqub's son to travel to Egypt for food. They there unknowingly stood before their brothers Yusuf. Yusuf finally revealed the truth and forgave his brothers with mercy. He sent his shirt back to his father Yaqub as a sign. When the shirt touched Yaqub's face, his eyesight returned by the will of Allah. The life of Yaqub alayhi salam teaches the true meaning of patience and trust in Allah. Even the deepest pain cannot defeat a heart filled with faith, for Allah's plan always leads from hardship to mercy. What happens when betrayal throws an innocent boy into a dark well? Can faith survive jealousy, slavery, prison, and years of separation? This is the extraordinary journey of Hazrat Yusuf alayhi salam from betrayal to honor by the will of Allah. Hazrat Yusuf alayhi salam was the beloved son of Hazrat Yaqub alayhi salam, a noble prophet of Allah. Allah blessed Yusuf with remarkable beauty, wisdom, and a pure heart. But his life would become one of the most powerful stories of patience and destiny in the Quran. One night, young Yusuf shared a mysterious dream with his father. He saw 11 stars, the sun and the moon bowing before him. Yaqub understood the dream, carried a defined future, but warned him to keep it secret. Jealousy began to grow in the hearts of Yusuf's brother. They took him into a desert and threw into a deep well. But Allah protected Yusuf as a caravan later rescued him. Yusuf was taken to Egypt and sold as a slave. Even in hardship, he remained loyal to Allah and refused sin. His honesty led him to prison, where he interpreted dreams with wisdom. Years later, the king of Egypt saw a mysterious dream no one could explain. Yusuf interpreted the dream and warned of a coming famine. The king recognized his wisdom and honored him with great authority. During the famine, Yusuf's brothers came to Egypt seeking food. They stood before Yusuf without recognizing the brother they had betrayed. Yusuf forgave them with mercy, proving that faith conquers betrayal. The story of Yusuf teaches that patience transforms hardship into honor. Trust in Allah can turn the deepest pain into unexpected victory. For Allah's plan is always greater than human betrayal. What happens when an entire nation becomes blinded by greed and corruption? What happens when honesty disappears from markets and deception becomes normal? This is the powerful story of Hazrat Shuaib alayhi salam, the prophet who stood against corruption. Hazrat Shuaib alayhi salam was sent by Allah to the people of Madian, a prosperous trading nation. Their markets were busy, their caravans were healthy, but their herds were filled with dishonesty. Allah chose Shuaib alayhi salam to guide them back to justice, honesty, and the worship of one God. The people of Madian were known for cheating in trade and giving less in weight and measure. Their markets echoed with profit, but fairness had disappeared. Shuaib alayhi salam stood among them and called them to worship Allah and deal honestly. He warned them to give full measure and not to spread corruption on the earth. But the leaders mocked him and accused him of weakness. They even threatened to drive him and his followers out of their land. Despite rejection, Shuaib alayhi salam continued to advise them with patience and wisdom. He reminded them that wealth without honesty would lead to destruction. Yet arrogance blinded their hearts and they refused to listen. Shuaib alayhi salam warned them that Allah's punishment could arrive if they continued their corruption. But the people responded with mockery and demanded that the punishment come. The believers left the city with Shuaib, trusting Allah's command. Suddenly, a powerful earthquake struck the land of Madian. The earth trembled and the arrogant nation collapsed under the punishment of Allah. Only Shuaib alayhi salam and the believers were saved by Allah's mercy. The story of Shuaib alayhi salam teaches that corruption destroys nation. Honesty in trade and justice in society are commands from Allah. True success belongs to those who stand for truth even when the world opposes them. What happens when a man loses his wealth, his family, and even his health? What happens when suffering lasts not days but years? This is the powerful story of Ayyub alayhi salam, the prophet whose patience became a timeless lesson for humanity. Hazrat Ayyub alayhi salam was a righteous prophet blessed by Allah with wealth, land, and a large family. His life was filled with gratitude, worship, and kindness toward the poor. But Allah destined for him a test that would shake every part of his life. Ayyub lived peacefully among his people, known for his generosity and devotion. His land was fertile, his livestock were many, and his home was filled with children. Yet Allah was preparing him for one of the greatest trials ever faced by a prophet. Suddenly his wealth began to disappear. His children passed away and his body was struck by a painful illness. His condition became so severe that people began to distance themselves from him. Only his loyal wife remained beside him, caring for him with patience and love. Years passed, but Ayyub never complained about Allah's decree. His heart remained filled with faith even as his body grew weaker. In the court of his hardship, Ayyub turned to Allah in humble prayer. He said, "Indeed, adversity has touched me, and you are the most merciful of the merciful." This sincere supplication reflected the patience of a true servant of Allah. Allah answered the prayer of his faithful prophet. Ayyub was commanded to strike the ground with his foot. A spring of pure water emerged, restoring his health and returning his blessings. The life of Ayyub al-Islam teaches that patience is the strongest shield during hardship.
True
True
faith
faith
remains firm
remains
even when the
firm
world
even when
collapses
the
around
world
us.
collapses around us. For Allah never abandons those who trust Him with sincere patience. In the pages of the Quran, some prophets are mentioned briefly, yet their legacy carries immense wisdom. Among them, Hazrat Dhul-Kifl al-Islam, a man remembered for justice, patience, and unwavering devotion to Allah. His story is a powerful reminder that true leadership is built upon faith, discipline, and honesty. Allah mentions Dhul-Kifl al-Islam among the righteous servants in the Holy Quran. In other words, praises them those whom Allah admitted into His mercy because of their righteousness. Though the Quran speaks briefly of him, prophet known for patience, justice, and fulfillment of his promise. According to historical narrations recorded by scholars like Imam Tabari Dhul-Kifl, the people needed a leader who would guide them with fairness and strong faith. Dhul-Kifl accepted the responsibility with soul, man promise, and never abandoned patience. He pledged to decide himself fully to Allah and to the people under his care. His commitment included fasting during the day, praying through the night, and judgment dispute with complete fairness. His discipline became a living example of sincerity and devotion. Some narrations mention that Shaitan attempted to test the patience of Dhul-Kifl. He tried repeatedly to provoke anger and frustration within the Prophet, but Dhul-Kifl remained calm, patient, and steadfast in obedience to Allah. With every passing day, he continued to judge between people with honesty and wisdom. His unwavering character inspired trust among the community. Gradually, justice began to replace corruption among the people. The trials of patience only strengthened the resolve of Dhul-Kifl. He fulfilled every promise he had made before Allah. Because of his sincerity, Allah honored him among the righteous and patient prophets. The story of Dhul-Kifl alayhi teaches that patience is the foundation of justice. True leaders control their anger, keep their promises, and remain sincere to Allah. And those who remain steadfast in faith and discipline are raised in honor by Allah. In a land ruled by tyranny, a child was born who would challenge the might of Pharaoh. A child raised in the palace of a king who ordered his death. This is the powerful story of Musa al-Islam, the liberator of Israel.
Thousands of years
Ago,
ago,
Egypt
ruled
was
by the
ruled by the cruel
Pharaoh
Pharaoh who
enslaved the
enslaved the
children of
children of
Israel.
Israel.
Fearing a
Fearing a
prophecy
prophecy that a boy from
destroy
Bani
his
Israel
kingdom,
would destroy
Pharaoh
his
ordered the
kingdom,
killing of
he
every
ordered the
newborn boy.
killing
But
of a new
Allah had
every
already
born boy.
chosen
But
Musa
Allah
S
had
for a
already
divine
chosen
mission.
Musa al-Islam from a divine. When Musa al-Islam was born, his mother feared for his life under Pharaoh's brutal command. Allah inspired her to place the boy in a small chest and set it gently upon the Nile River. The river carried the
The
child
river
to the
carried the
place of
child to
Pharaoh,
the
where
palace
its
of
greatest
Pharaoh, where
enemy
his greatest
unknowingly
enemy
raised him.
unknowingly raised him.
Years later, Musa
Musa fled
fled
Egypt
Egypt
after an
after an
accidental incident
accidental
and traveled
incident
to the
and
land of
traveled to the
Madian.
land of Madian. There at Mount Tur, Allah spoke to Musa directly from a blessed fire. Allah commanded him return to Pharaoh and call him to the worship of the one true God. Musa was stood bravely before Pharaoh, declaring the message of Allah. Pharaoh mocked him, but Allah gave Musa powerful sign. His staff turned into a mighty serpent, and his hand shone with a radiant light.
Pharaoh
Pharaoh
refused the
refused the
truth
truth and
and
increased the
increased the
suffering of
suffering
Bani
of Bani
Israel.
Israel.
Allah sent many signs
Allah
upon
sent
Egypt,
many signs
floods,
upon Egypt,
locusts,
floods,
lice, frogs,
locusts,
and
lice,
blood.
frogs,
Yet
and blood.
Pharaoh's heart
Yet Pharaoh's
remained
heart
arrogant
remained
and
arrogant
blind.
and blind.
Allah commanded Musa to lead Bani Israel out of Egypt in the night. When Pharaoh's army chased to the Red Sea, fear filled the hearts of the people. But Allah ordered Musa to strike the sea with
But
his
Allah
staff, and
ordered
the
Musa
sea split
to
into
strike the
towering
sea
walls
with
of
his staff,
water.
and the sea split into towering walls of water.
Bani
Bani
Israel
Israel crossed safely, while Pharaoh and his army drowned in the sea.
The tyrant who claimed to be a god was destroyed by the power of Allah. The story of Musa teaches us that truth
The
always
story of
defeats
Musa
oppression,
teaches
and
us that
Allah
truth
always
always
helps
defeats
those
oppression,
who
and
trust
Allah
Him.
always helps those who trust Him.
In the shadow of a powerful tyrant, two brothers were chosen by Allah to stand for truth. One carried the staff of miracles, the other carried the strength of words. This is the inspiring story of Hazrat Harun al-Islam, the loyal brother and noble prophet of Allah.
Hazrat
Harun
Harun was the elder
was
brother
the
of
elder
Hazrat Musa
brother of
Yusuf,
Hazrat Musa
and a respected
and
man among
respected
Bani
man
Israel.
among Bani Israel. Allah blessed him with wisdom, patience, and powerful speech. When Musa was chosen for the mission against Pharaoh, he prayed his brother Harun would support him. Musa left the weight of the great mission before him. He prayed to Allah, appoint for me a helper for my family, Harun my brother. Allah accepted the prayer and made Harun a prophet and partner in the mission.
Together,
Together,
Musa
Musa
and
and
Harun went to
Harun
the
went to
palace
the
of Pharaoh.
palace of Pharaoh. They delivered the message clearly, worship Allah
and
alone
free
and
Bani
free Bani
Israel.
Israel. But Pharaoh rejected the truth
I
and
reject your
accused
claims.
them
This is
of
sorcery,
sorcery.
We speak the truth.
lies, and deception.
Allah gave Musa miracles and Harun stood beside him with courage. Before Pharaoh's magicians, the staff turned into a powerful serpent. When the magicians witnessed the truth, they believed in the Lord of Musa and Harun.
During his
After
absence,
Pharaoh's
a man named
destruction, Musa
misled
went
the
to
people
Mount
and
Tur to
created
receive
a golden calf
revelation.
idol.
During his absence, a man named misled the people and created a gold calf idol. Harun warned the people and tried to stop them from worshipping it. Harun reminded the people, "Your Lord is the most merciful, so follow me." But many people ignored him and followed the false idol. Harun remained patient, fearing that force might divide Bani Israel further. When
When you were
Musa
away, I tried to guide
returned,
them, but
Harun
they were led
explained
astray.
how he
I
had
see.
tried to
We will
guide the
set them right
people.
again.
Allah honored Harun as a noble prophet who supported truth with patience and wisdom. His story teaches us that loyal patience and standing with truth are among the greatest acts of faith.